What's up guys, welcome to Wasted Space, we're back in Space Engineers, and today's video is all about something positive that's changed. Hell yes, when me and Shaq and Morph were messing around on the stream on Saturday, we came across something that I'd almost put forward as an undocumented change because it's damn cool, and I don't remember seeing anything in the patch notes that really pointed at this being something that you could now do. On top of that, I've also come up with, on the stream last night, what I think is a pretty damn cool concept making use of this change. So I wanted to tell you a bit about what the hell it is I'm talking about, and also show you guys this concept, hopefully get you a bit excited for some of the possibilities we now have. So the change is all to do with what they were calling inverse kinematics. And this was the thing where they did a nice demonstration video where as your space engineer is wandering around on the planet's surface, before its legs weren't really aware of where the surface actually was, so you were kind of floating above stuff, especially at strange angles. The inverse kinematics meant that your engineer's model was almost aware of where the ground was, and so your legs would move into the correct position and you'd look correct for whatever it was you were standing on. And I thought, well, that's wonderful. Bit of a visual change, it's going to look much better, especially for group survival, we'll be looking like we're walking properly and so on. That sounds cool, and didn't think much more of it. However, I do think that what we've run into is all to do with that inverse kinematics change. So what you can now do, and it seems to be only in planetary gravity at the moment, this is the only place where it seems to work consistently, is actually wander around on a moving vehicle. So as you guys will know beforehand, you'd get in the vehicle, and if you weren't in a seat by the time that vehicle started moving, you were going to get ejected out the back of that vehicle quicker than you can blink. You just, as soon as that throttle was hit, off you go out the back. That doesn't happen anymore. As long as you keep the speed below about 40-50 meters a second and avoid any really dramatic acceleration or turning, people can wander around and do things on your vessel. So in the background you can see us kind of finding this out as Shaq and Morph are running around in the back of my MPB Mark III, and they're busy installing a broadside cannon in the side of it, which is completely useless of course, but did demonstrate really nicely that I'm driving around, I'm smashing into trees, I'm doing all sorts, and they're staying on the ship. So that's pretty damn cool, although it's worth throwing out there, remember that there are those slight restrictions at the moment. It does seem to be planetary gravity only, I haven't had much luck with it in space, and it needs to be relatively slow. So again, you're talking about 40-50 meters a second or so, and without really crazy gyros spinning around and so on. But as long as you follow those, you get the results that you're kind of seeing in the background here. And this gives me a great opportunity to talk about the concept. So some of you guys may know a game called Guns of Icarus, and might now be starting to put two and two together from the title of this video. Guns of Icarus is an airship combat game. You basically fly these steampunk airships, blimp things, with a multiple person crew. So you've got people manning guns, you've got people repairing sections of it, obviously you've got a man on the helm, and between the lot of you, you work to go and fight other crews on other airships. So I fancied giving that a go in Space Engineers. It seemed like the perfect opportunity to try and emulate it and at the same time test this whole inverse kinematics change, see whether you could do some really funky things with it. So while it's not finished, I need to implement what I have planned for how you're going to do the repair systems, for example, need to fix the weapons a bit because they could be better. You can see in the background that we actually ended up with 8 people in the server running around on the decks of these ships, which were based off something called the Junker in that game, which is basically a flying death trap. It's held together by bits of string and there are no guardrails anywhere. And still people were staying on it, they were firing weapons at the other targets, they were repairing bits, even though I haven't set up what I planned for the sort of projector repair system. And we had a great time. These things looked really legitimate. I'm quite pleased with the aesthetic I managed to pull off. If you compare the Guns of Icarus Junker point of view to my one, they're pretty damn close. And while the two games we played did both end in a crash, it was the crash where we crashed into each other, rather than the crash where we end up on desktop, like, as I'm sure you guys will know, has become a bit of a theme of all of my multiplayer experiments. So from that, I just came away smiling, really smiling, super duper pleased. This was basically the whole point of this video. I'm hoping to get that concept out there next week, have it all finished off, because if it's anything like the SE Deathmatch, that's really replayable because I managed to get everything kind of working pretty much spot on. So I want to do the same with this, not release anything until it's actually done. But I figured why not use it as a demonstration so I could talk to you guys about some of the new possibilities we seem to have all of a sudden. Now obviously, take this with a pinch of salt, it could suddenly stop working, it could suddenly be changed, and obviously again, your results may vary, it's going to be connection based and so on. But we were playing with guys from the US, and it's still, I'm UK based, I was playing with guys from across the Atlantic, and it was still working. So I hope you guys enjoy that. I hope you guys enjoy some of the new potential we've got. Mess around with ground vehicles for multi-crew, air vehicles for multi-crew, lots of cool stuff we can do. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. It not only helps me and the channel, but it also helps get that video out there, and in this case, get out a pretty interesting piece of information, because if you're anything like me, you've pretty much given up trying this stuff by this point. If you didn't like it, you know where that dislike button is. Feel free to hammer away on that. And otherwise, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will catch you for the next one.